So today we're going to be talking about box and whisker plots. Now if you're anything like me, the first time I looked at these it was so confusing. I had no idea how this plot that really has no numbers around it could tell me any information. But it's actually very, very informative if you just know what to look for. When you look at a box and whisker plot, the edges represent your minimum value and your maximum value, and that's recorded down here. It says our max should be 50.6, and when I look at this, yes, it tells me the max is 50.6. The minimum should be 26.9, and when I look down here at minimum, yes, 26.9. Now, this tells us lower quartile and upper quartile, and basically that kind of boxes around our average. The average is always in the very center of wherever your box is. So it's a good indication of where the majority of your numbers lie for the data that you're looking at. So this one, it looks like the majority of our numbers lie between probably about 30 to about 40. And if we look at our lower quartile, it's 32, so that matches about where we're looking. And our upper quartile is 40.35, which is what we had just said. Now, as I said, the average, or your mean, is always right in the center, and that's where this little red line is. And see how that lines up directly in the center of the box? And right here it says the average is 36.469, which is a nice number. We can see exactly what it is, but again, you can kind of estimate it just at a quick glance with a box and whisker plot, which is the beauty of it. Now, the bold blue line that runs through the box will tell you where the median value is. So if I look at the median, it's 35.1, which means that the median in this case is just a little bit more to the left. And visually, knowing where your median is in relationship to your mean tells you a ton about the data. If your median is less than your mean, then your data is going to be skewed to the right, which you can kind of see how it looks like more of your data is going to be to the right. If your median is bigger than your mean, then your data is going to be skewed to the left. If they line up perfectly, it's going to be symmetric data. So just at a quick glance, you could say, okay, we've got some low numbers down here, high down here, but the majority of ours is right here. Let's look at another set of data to see how it changes. That's very similar. Let's find one that's a little bit different. Here we go. So this looks like basketball players. So looking at the data, just looking at the numbers, it doesn't tell you a lot. But looking at the box and whisker plot, I can say, all right, I see here that the median is smaller than the data, so you know you've got data that is right skewed. And also I know I have my minimum value at 63, my maximum value at 72, and the majority of the values are going to be closer to 72 than 63. With the median lying, let's see, they're telling us at 68, that looks about 68, and your mean is going to be at 68.45. So you can really tell what it would look like if this were graphed. Let's take a look at one other just to see. Here we go. So this one's a little bit different. The first thing you notice is, wow, the data is right there in the center, which looks pretty good. And then if you look, this time, instead of the median being to the left of the mean, now it's over here to the right. So this tells us that our data is left skewed. But you can see that your average, or your mean, is 75, almost 76, and your median is going to be 80.5. So as you can see, box and whisker plots, which when they originally look very confusing to you, actually hold quite a bit of information without using a whole lot of numbers. You can derive a lot of things just at a quick glance, so they are very, very useful. Well, I hope this video has been a little bit informative and told you some things you might not have known about box and whisker plots.